What is IP address? Now we discuss about IP address. IP stands for Internet Protocol, which is a set of rules for governing the format of data sent via internet or a local network. IP address is used to identify the network devices, and each device on the network must have a unique IP address. IPv4 address is a 32-bit number divided into four groups of 8 bit each, called as an octet, and then converted into the decimal number. It is divided into five classes: class A, B, C. These three classes are used for the assigning IP to the end devices. D and E class is reserved. Class A starting range is 1 to 126, and class B start range is 128 to 191. Class C start range is 192 to 223. Actually, once we see the first octet, which is if lies in 1 to 126, it be in between, we can say the class A address. But not only the first octet range, we have to also see the subnet mask. Subnet mask is a number which is always written with the IP address. If you see the first octet of a subnet mask is 2555, so and first octet range in the IP address is 1 to 126 in between, we can say this is a class A address. Similarly, in the class B, first octet range start 128 to 191, and subnet mask is 25500. This 2 times subnet mask means this 2 octet is a network portion, and the first two octet in IP address must remain same to be in the same network, and the first octet range should start 128 to 191 in between. So as you can see, 172 is in between 128 to 191, and the subnet mask also 255 means this is the first 2 octet. If 255 in the subnet mask means 2 octet in the IP is a network portion. Similarly, class A 1 octet is 255 in the subnet mask means an IP address 1 octet in the network portion. In class C, 3 octet in the subnet mask is 255 means 3 octet in the IP is a network portion. So network portion means all the hosts must have the same network to communicate to each other, but IP must be unique. IP must be unique for each and every host. And class D and class E is reserved, basically not used for the distributing to the computers. Class D is used as a multicast address, and class E is used as a reserve. Reserve means basically for the research and educational institution, and their range is 224 to 239. For example, class D is used for the services as a multicast. I will be discussing in the coming session, like RIP protocol we will be discussing. That multicast address is 224.0.0.9. Similarly, some other services may be. This is only for the services for the multicast purpose. 127 is IP address range which is not used for any distribution because it is made for the loop back testing. So means any computer which is assigned to any IP, you can ping to any 127 IP, it will ping, means it is connected to itself. So it's for the loop testing, loop back testing, not for the communication. Okay, can we use all the IP address for our private purpose? No, because all the IP range is divided into private and public IP range. So when we talk about the private IP range, so in the class A we can use only 10 address starting with 10.0.0.0 and end with 10.255.255.255. When we talk about the class B address start with 172.16 and 172.31. Similarly, class C range start with the 192.168 and 192.168.255.255. This is a private IP range. Other than this, all the IP range is a public IP range. We cannot use public IP range for our private network because public IP is used somewhere in the internet or the network when we assigned for the private purpose, it will not be possible to make a communication on the internet. If you are not connected to the internet, we can give locally, there's no problem, but there's no network where we are not connected to internet. That's why we must use only the private IP range in our network. Public IP is used by the ISPs only. If we need for some purpose, we can get this public IP from the ISP. We can pay this and then we can get this IP from our ISP. Okay, all the IP address basically in the system is understood as a binary number system, but we used to define as a decimal. So this binary and decimal conversion, entire 32-bit address is divided into the 4 groups of 8-bit each, called as one octet. Then each octet value is maximum 255. So that's why we can say this. If we see this number, if we make all ones 8 bit, so this the place value for rightmost one is 1 and leftmost one is 128. If we make all bit ones, this decimal comes to 55. If we make one rightmost bit 0, it becomes to 54. Similarly, if we take right bit 1, rightmost bit it is 1, then similarly 1 1 3, 3 times 1 it is 7. Like if you say 1 2 1 to 4, it becomes 7. If we make 4 ones, so 1 2 4 8, it becomes 15. So this is a sequence, just an example for converting the binary to decimal. No need to understand whole process, just keep in mind this sequence, and by this place value you can convert your binary into decimal. Now we see the subnetting part. In the subnetting, if we use a class C address like 192.168.1.1, you can say take a network 192.168.1.0. This is a given network to do subnet. But if I take this example of a network, this is a classful network. If we write mask 255.25250 slash 24 means this 24 ones are there. 24 bit is for the network portion and 0 is for the host portion. So we can say network bit is 24 and host bit is 0. But the number of hosts in this using all 8 bits, the formula for the number of hosts is 2 raised to power h minus 2. If we say h is the number of host, bits is 8 bit. If we say 2 raised to power 8, it will be 56 minus 2, 54 hosts. So I can install 54 hosts in this given network. If it is a classful class C address. Okay, if we want to subnet this network, what does subnet means? I want to create multiple network in my, I want to divide my network into multiple parts. For example, if I want to make 2 subnets in my network, so I want to divide this network into 2 parts. So you can say this given network is 192.168.1.0. Okay, and if I want to subnet this, so the formula for creating a network is 2 raised to the power n to the power n, and if we take, if we want how many network, 1 to the power n equal to number of network. So if I take 1 bit for network, so I say 2 to the power n, it will be the 2 network. So if I borrow, so if I use 1 bit for subnetting, new subnet mask will, after borrowing 1 bit, will become 255.255.25128, because 1 bit I am going to use for network out of this 8 bit. So in the subnet mask, this one leftmost 1 bit place value is 128. This will become the new subnet mask, and it will be known as /25, because before it was /24, means 24 bit network. Here it is showing you 25 bit network. After making this 25 bit network, we have taken 1 bit from the host portion to the network portion. So now remaining host bit is 7 only. So by using 7 bits for host, to the power 7 minus 2, it becomes 128 minus 2, means 126 hosts per network, and total number of network will be 2. So the number of total hosts will be 252 in that case. So first network, we have taken 1 bit for the sub network, so we make in the on in the network portion. So for the network, if you take the given network is 192.168.1.0, so here in the first network portion I will make it 1 0, and second network portion I will make it 1, because 1 bit has been given. How many bits has been taken for the network from the host range, that will be used as a network subnets. So 1 0 will be the 0 only, and second 1 will be the 128 decimal. These are respective binary value. Okay, if first network will be 192.168.1.0, and the IP range will start 192.168.1.1, maximum it will go to 192.168.1.126. Last address for any network range is always become the broadcast address. 192.168.1.27 is the broadcast address for 192.168.1.0 network. Similarly, second network is 192.168.1.1, that becomes 128, and the IP range will start with 129. It will go to 254. 255 is a broadcast for the second network range. Similarly, in the second example, if I show you here, if I take 2 bits for the network, means after taking 2 bits for a network, if you write this formula here, 2 raised to power 2 equal to 4, so there will be 4 networks. If I take 2 bit for subnetting, it will be 4 bits for network. Sorry, if 2 bits will be the 4 networks will be available in this range. So after taking 2 bits from the host range for subnetting, it will become 1.1, then 6 zeros. So 1 means 128 plus 64 becomes 192. So 192 is a subnet mask, 125.525.25.192. It is represented also /26. So about the network, the given network will be the 2 bits we have taken. The combination of 2 bits are maximum 4, 0 0, 0 1, 1 0 and 1 1. 0 0 becomes 0 only, 0 1 is 64, 1 0 is 128 and 1 1 is 192. So if we give this a network new network range, so the first network ends with the /.63. So my first range will start with the network is 0 and IP start with 192.168.1.1 to 192.168.1.62. Similarly, the second network is 64. IP start with 65 and goes until 126. 127 is the broadcast address. Similarly, third network is 192.168.1.128. IP start with the 129 and continues until 190. 191 is the broadcast address for third network, and fourth network is 11, that is 192. IP start with the 193 and it continues until 254, and 255 is a broadcast for the fourth network. So this way we can do subnets. Also, if we take a 3 bit for subnets, so there will be 2 to the power 3, total there will be the 8 networks. Similarly, it can be driven. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.